Hello, everybody. I am OmegaReconGaming here with my friend,
What's up, guys? This is Caligold45.
and we are going to be talking about our top games of 2018. Um, this was a great year, not just for anime, not just for movies, but for games as well. Honestly, it's the best year for games so far in a long time. I mean, last year was good-ish. The year before that was ugh. But this year, whew, we got some strong games. I didn't get to cover all of them. I mean, I covered a lot of games. So if you see a game that will probably not be on this list, some games will definitely not be on this list because I didn't get to cover them. So some of these games will not be covered on my channel. I covered them off screen or I played them at a friend's house. So I just wanted to get that out of the way. Now all these games are ones that I played on my channel. Just a little disclaimer. So I'm going to be starting with the honorable mentions, and then I'll be getting into my top 5, and then Jonathan will be talking about his top 5. So the honorable mentions I'll be going through pretty quick. Here are the rules before I get talking about my honorable mentions. A game cannot make the top 5 if it is a remake or an extended edition of a game that came out last year or the year before. If it's a remaster, remasters are fair game if the game did not come out last year or the year before. And, it does not matter if it's a different console. It doesn't matter if, it was ports are also not allowed. So, like, when Xenoverse got ported to the Switch, that does not count. Bayonetta got ported to the Switch this year. That does not count. But
It's about time, in my opinion.
no, shut the fuck up, Jonathan. No, I'm gonna talk about my honorable mentions. Okay, here's my number 1 pick that didn't make the list: Sonic Mania Plus. Sonic Mania came out last year, and I didn't get a. I did play it, but I only played it. I played it at my friend's house, and I didn't beat it fully, and I didn't think it was fair to include it on the list because I didn't finish it and I didn't give it a review. I'm pretty sure I didn't. I could be totally wrong, and I could look like a complete fucking nut. But, I didn't, as far as I remember, I didn't include it on the list. But I played Sonic Mania Plus, and I fucking loved it on PlayStation. On Switch, it was a little wonky, in my opinion. But I loved it on PS4. It's so good. So good. In fact, it's so good, I gave it a 10 out of 10. Honest to God, it's the best Sonic game I've played ever. It's the best 2D Sonic game. It's I want to say fan service, which it is, basically top to bottom. It's what makes me love Sonic and makes me want to believe that Sega can turn Sonic around after Sonic Boom. Sonic Forces was good too, but Sonic Mania fucking blew it out of the water. Anyway, number 2, Life is Strange, Episode 1. That's the reason I didn't include Life is Strange on the list, is because all the parts are not out yet, and it would be unfair to put it on the list when it's not a complete game yet. It's an amazing game, don't get me wrong, and it's better than the first Life is Strange game by a long shot. The story is better, so far. The character interactions are better. Everything's better. Jonathan hasn't gotten to it because he's a filthy casual. I'm kidding. This is a game I didn't get to. I didn't show off on stream. I played it at a friend's house. We both like Life is Strange. I didn't get the game because I was unsure. I liked Captain Spirit. But I was still unsure, like the direction and tone. And I gave it the first episode. In fact, I gave it a 9 out of 10. So, hopefully, when Square Enix gets to... Hopefully they will keep the trend going. I will not spoil anything, because it's great. And if you haven't checked out Life is Strange 2, it's really, really good. Number 3 was a heartbreaker for me. Because this was originally on the list for top 5, but I had to knock it off. In all honesty... And I even lowered the rating, and that, you know, wasn't enough to knock it off the list. But when I added a new competitor, that knocked it off the list. In fact, I am talking about Octopath Travelers for the Nintendo Switch. I was so hyped for Octopath Travelers. In fact, I love this game. I have, of course, complaints with it, being the fact that the combat, while I do like it, it's can get very repetitive after a while, and it needs more variety. While I do love the boost system, and the battles were very intense, the difficulty can be crushing sometimes, and I did have a lot of fun. The game looks great, the game plays great, the soundtrack is great, the story is great, the characters are great. I didn't hate a single character, not a single one of them. Sure, I like certain stories more than the other, like Therion's story was my personal highlight of them. But I did get attached to the characters, and, you know, I loved all 8 of them. And I actually really enjoyed mixing in and out the characters out of, you know. But, unfortunately, and this game got, originally I gave it a 9, I lowered its score down to an 8, to reflect my new scale. I could definitely see how someone could give it a 9, or even maybe higher, if, you know, the combat doesn't bug them as much as it did to me. But I did enjoy it. Don't get me wrong, but it needed more. It needed more because you're gonna max those character points out pretty quickly. I maxed those out like obnoxiously quickly, but you know. And I did like mixing and matching the character abilities. That was a lot of fun. I did like that mechanic a lot. Even, you know, like when you remove the characters, the path action thing, kind of. I did. That's the thing I didn't like. The certain the pack actions like thieving and stuff, you could only use with one character. Like that I don't like. Which means you can only steal with Therion, which was the most useful ability out of everything. Sure, shopping was probably the second most useful ability, and the talking ability was extremely useful. But it just felt like, you know, the combat. Well, I did enjoy it. You know, it needed more. In my opinion, it needed more. Octopath is extremely solid. Probably the second best RPG on the Switch. And I could definitely see how people could think it maybe be the #1 on the Switch. Right next to Xenoblade Chronicles 2. But anyway, so what could be below it? How about Detroit Become Human? Which I gave an 8 out of 10. Another good story game which fell apart because it, you know, while, you know, of course it's good and replayable and that, you know, the characters are good and, you know, it just, there's some parts of the game that's really sucky and really lame, and I don't want to spoil because most of the game is based on its story and based on, you know, I love the characters. Brian Deckard is great as Connor, and I think Connor's story was my favorite. So yeah, Detroit Become Human is good. It's just it falls a bit off in the gameplay aspect. However, I really did like what they did with the different choices. The choices actually mattered. It wasn't useless like fucking Life is Strange was. And of course in Life is Strange 2, the choices actually fucking matter. Anyways, I gave that an 8 out of 10. Moving on. Here's a game that I was always saying to Callie. I was always saying, man, can't wait for that Spyro remake. I was always saying that. Always, I was like, man, that would be so cool. Man, that would be so cool. And he remembers that. You remember that, right? Mm-hmm. I was always saying, man, that would be so cool if someone would do. I did not know going in that Toys for Bob would be making this trilogy. That they would also be the same people who would be. I liked Spyro and Ignited Trilogy. Notice how I didn't say loved. I liked it. I gave it a 7.5 out of 10. I could see how people love this game. I could honestly see it. But for me, the controls were really inconsistent. Sometimes I would make a jump, other times I wouldn't. It's very frustrating to me. I even switched controllers to see if that would fix the problem. It did not. Spyro, I loved it visually. I loved it. The soundtrack is great. And Spyro Reignited Trilogy, I was very unnerved because I played one of the Spyro games as a kid, and I was very unnerved because Yooka-Laylee was not good. It was not good, and I didn't like Banjo growing up. I did not like collectathon platformers. I liked platformers, but I did not like collectathon platformers. RPG may be my baby in my genre, but platformers have always been there, and it's just a shame that more platformers aren't good in Bubsy. Alright, I'm moving on. Spyro Reignited Trilogy is definitely a great game that you should definitely pick up. A lot of my complaints are, control-based, and that the power-ups weren't as fun to use. But anyway, moving on. Surprise game that came out of absolute nowhere. Like, nobody was expecting this. Deltarune. The separate story of Undertale. It's not a sequel. It's not a. It's gonna be like Life is Strange. It's gonna be a chapter-based story. That's also why I did not make the list. This is chapter 1. Toby Fox has not stated when he's gonna release the other chapters, but he says they're in development. And he has released this for free, so you have no excuse not to play it. Deltarune is a good game. I gave it a 7 out of 10. Kirby Star Allies. So Matt got this game. He is a huge Kirby fan. I like Kirby. Don't love him. Don't just be, I like him. I played a few of his games. I love Return to Dreamland on the Wii. It's so good. I love Epic Yarn. Matt played Robobot. I hate what's it called? Mass Attack. I do like the mini games in it though. A lot. Let's see. I love Squeak Squad. Star Allies is good. It's a good solid Kirby entry. Moving on. Blaze Blue Cross Tag Battle. Jonathan knows I was very excited to play this game. Because of many reasons. A, because Ruby was going to be in the game, and Ruby hasn't been in a good game yet. Blaze Blue, I loved the controls. The controls are extremely solid, and I love playing as every character except for Weiss. But the practices by Bandai... Okay, so Arc made this game, and I was excited, because, oh man, I loved fighters. So, with such a solid game as that, this game can't be bad. It's got Ruby characters, it's got Blaze Blue characters, it's got in-birth characters. I liked the characters. The only ones I were kind of flip-floppy on was Persona, because I don't care about Persona, but, So, I want to just go a little bit into this, because this angered me. So, Jonathan, there are 4 members of Team Ruby, right? Because you've seen the show.
Yeah.
So there's Ruby, Weiss, Blake, and Yang. Jonathan, I don't know if you know this, but Ruby and Weiss were the only playable characters of Team Ruby in the game originally. Really? Yep.
That's surprising. I didn't
yeah,
know that.
and it's Weiss out of not her sister Yang, not Blake, who was who defended her. No. Let's let it be Weiss, the one who it just missed. And you know what's funny, Jonathan? They're in the story mode, but Blake and Yang are in the story mode. You just don't play as them. And that's the same for all the other DLC characters. They're in the story mode. But I bet you someone's decision was to cut them out and pad them for DLC. And that's what they did. Also, Blake and Yang are in the game. You want to know how they got in the game? They were added as Day 1 DLC, but they were going to be charged DLC. People were going to have to pay money. And then people flipped their shit at Rooster Teeth because that was unacceptable. It's still unacceptable. I'm extremely pissed off at Rooster Teeth. I'm pissed off at Rooster Teeth for many reasons. That being one of them. The fact that they were going to charge us to play as Blake and Yang. So the game has total 40 characters with 20 in the base game. and in the original game, with not including Yang and Blake, only two Ruby characters. Do you realize what that means? That means that BlazBlue, Persona, and Under the Birth had multiple characters. Ruby only got two. How does that make you feel, Jonathan? As a fan of Ruby, you know, how does that make you? How would that make you feel as a fan of that franchise?
I mean, paying for characters that should already be in the game is kind of unacceptable, honestly.
Yeah, and not only that, the fact that Ruby only has, and now they only have, since they've been added as free day one DLC, they haven't added any more Ruby characters. They've added more Unbirthed characters. They've added more Persona characters, more BlazBlue characters. Not a single Ruby character since launch. They haven't explained plans to do it either. They could add John. They could add Pyrrha. They could add Ren, Nora. They just said fuck it. And that's the one part that infuriates me. The second biggest problem is the story mode. The story mode can go from great to terrible. The dialogue really infuriates me. Some lines are greatly written, and it feels like it was written by more than too many writers. And one writer came in and had this really good joke, and then another writer comes in and he's just like, I'm a good writer. Also, the characters are all portrayed as idiots, and it just pissed me off. I ended up giving the game a 6 out of 10. I expected better, Ark. I loved the game's controls. I loved how the game looked. It played great on the Switch, not just PS4. I did review it on PS4, but it's solid on Switch too. I can't get over how just fluff the story was. It's just fluff. The boss fight, the ending boss fight, is so lame. You want to know what it is, Jonathan? I don't care if I spoil this. You want to know what it is?
What?
It's a giant, like a diamondy pyramid thing. Don't know what, like, it's like a pyramid that's a pyramid on both sides. It's like I can't think of it. But the point is, that's what it is. It's just a giant pyramid thing. That's all it is. You get a bunch of fighting characters together, and that's the best. It's not a monster. It's plot twist. It's the announcer. The announcer is the final boss. It's so lame. I could not believe just how lame that is. Other than that, BlazBlue is a solid game. It's got good music, of course, because they licensed, of course, the Red Like Roses and some of the Ruby tracks, and there's some good remixes from other games. But it's the horrible business practices. It's the lackluster insulting story that just really just rubbed me the wrong way. The lack of characters, by the way. The fact that Ruby only has 4 characters. 4, and 2 of them are DLC that were planned to be were ripped out and made. That I can't even imagine like NetherRealms doing something like that. Oh yeah, and guess what's coming out next year, which will, pretty much take away anybody left who's going to be playing cross-tag battle. Anyway, I'm going to let Jonathan talk about his top pick. I'm actually going to switch this up. I'm going to let Jonathan, because he's been sitting patiently and talking while I've been talking about my honorable mentions. I'm going to let Jonathan talk about his top picks, and then I'm going to talk about my top picks.
Okay, so my list is, I feel like it's definitely very different from what other people may have on their list, but this is what I
Meaning he's going to be wrong. And you can all jump on him for it.
That I got a chance to play this year. But so starting at number 5 for my top 5 games of 2018 would be Black Clover Quartet Knights, mainly because it does, like compared to the other game that's going to come up soon, but this game I do feel like the gameplay really surprised me, because it could have just
it could have been
went a wrong direction. It could have been like a Battle of Z or
Battle of Z.
Yeah, Dragon Ball Z Battle of Z, like a arena. kind of like an arena.
I don't know what that.
Mode.
Oh, you know what you should have said and know what you should say?
What?
Boruto Strikers. It could have been like that. It could have been that bad.
Yeah, but the reason why this is at number 5 is because like I love Black Clover, but the game itself, like the gameplay is fun. I couldn't get into the story that much, but and also the online is pretty much dead, even though it literally came out this year. So it's yeah, the online is dead, bro. Cause I literally spent almost 15 minutes in the lobby just waiting. Nothing happened. So, you know, it was.
Yeah.
I don't know.
I will say that
But,
about it being an like think of how many anime games that are absolute garbage like over the years that we've gotten. Even just this year we've gotten so many terrible, like Boruto Strikers. How much of that is an insult compared to how great Naruto Shippuden Ultimate Ninja Storm 4? You know? How insulting is that game compared to it? This game, like, that came out in 2016 and it updated to have Boruto characters and it's a solid game. How insulting 2 years later that, you know, and you played that too, you know. Do you want to talk about that real quick? You know, while
yeah, compared to Shinobi Strikers, yeah, Storm 4 was the best, in my opinion, the best Naruto game I played.
And it actually gave us an ending to ship it in the dub because they considered it not they just didn't do it. They only got to they stopped it right before the Kaguya fight, which I find is hilarious because she's a terrible villain. Madara was much better. In the end, they just decided they are taking a good direction with Boruto. There are some arcs that we both enjoy, and like I said at the beginning, anime for 2018 has been great. There's been great shows. There's been like, you know, and there's coming and next year is gonna have a great anime game. Is it 2019 that Kill la Kill games, or is that
2019? Yeah, the new Kill la Kill is supposed to be coming out.
Did they have a date for it yet?
I don't think so, but they said it's coming out next
I know
year.
Jonathan's gonna be getting that game fucking day one.
I'm definitely playing it next year though, like no doubt about that.
You're gonna be pre-ordering that.
I don't know about pre-ordering it, but
It's your favorite. Kill la Kill's like your favorite.
Yeah, it is, but I don't know about pre-ordering it. It just depends on what they have as pre-order bonuses.
Who's working on the game?
Arc System.
Well, then you know it's gonna be quality. Well, the fighting system anyway. The story, it depends if they take it directly from the story.
But I'm gonna continue on with my list.
Yeah, go ahead. Sorry about that. I just wanted to.
Yeah, you're good.
Yeah, I just wanted to talk about that.
So number 4 would be Naruto the Boruto Shinobi Strikers. Mainly, the reason why this is on my list at all because I did have some fun playing the multiplayer matches, but still after a while, the entire game kind of feels dull because so the best comparison is of course Xenoverse because these games, they do have the same concept. You can create your own character. Your character is sent to this hub world. You walk around it, meet people. You know, train your character. And the thing is, the difference between these two games is that Shinobi Strikers just felt like a dull hub world, and it has no story also. And it's
that's
just
so
about
insulting.
this game.
You know, that's so insulting.
Yeah, and
compared to a cheaper game. Like, look on sale right now. I'll look at my my Steam right now. Ultra Storm 4 for $15. That's on sale, and its normal price now is $30 compared to its $60 when it came out. So even then, like $15 is a steal, man. It's great. It looks good visually, and compared to Boruto, I think that game's like $20 on sale. That game. Well, continue. I just wanted to just.
Yeah, but it was kind of disappointing. Like I know everyone, they said, oh, this game is gonna be awesome and stuff. And me, I was just a minority. Like I'm just gonna see if it's really, you know, worth buying, because I didn't purchase this game. I rented it, but I had a good amount of time playing it, and I honestly got bored. Like my playing time on this game was about 3 or 4 hours, and that was about
That's
it.
insulting.
And, yeah, Cause like I said, I want to see how like my character's like a level 20, and I wanted to see how good I can get at the game. Like, you know, doing some type of combos.
Dude,
to get the edge on my.
Do you realize? Do you realize that we had a fighting tournament? Remember when we had a fighting tournament with all the guys? We had it with Corey and Cosmic and all the we had everybody in the lobby. We had everyone fighting.
Yeah.
We played longer than 3 hours. We played Storm 4
card game.
Hmm?
I said, and Yu-Gi-Oh's a card game too. That's a
no. I'm talking about like our fighting tournament. Like, remember we had one for Dragon Ball. We had one for Storm 4.
Yeah, I remember now.
Yeah. And it was longer than 3 hours.
Yeah, I remember. But I was so disappointed with this game that I returned this game so fast. But I just wish this game was better. I feel like if Bandai even plans on making a sequel, which I honestly don't think they should.
No,
it's honestly too late. They should not make.
Not to this. Not to this. They need to make more Storm games. Are the developers the same? The developers can't be the same.
CyberConnect 2 is not making another Storm game. That is not gonna happen.
Oh right, because they had that whole thing at the end of Storm 4, like to show all the games how far they've come to the end.
Yeah, it's not gonna happen, but. I don't know. They should have had a story mode with this game. Then I would have been more invested.
No. It's not should. They needed to, because that's what people love about Naruto. Is its story, its characters. How do the characters like do they like work off each other? Like is there team specials? Is there you know?
Well, in Shinobi Strikers they have different types. You have the attack type, balance, and the range type. My bad, not balance. I think it's the healing type. So of course the attack type is like your Naruto character, like just hand-to-hand combat. Your range type is like Sasuke type, where you just throw shurikens.
Wait. Sasuke I thought he'd be
long range.
Oh yeah, because the Chidori, the Susanoo, yeah, that's totally long range.
But no, it's because they have 3 types, so you got to separate them. So of course Naruto is the attack. Sasuke is his range, and Sakura is the healing.
No. 10 is range, but I guess she's too forgettable, and they needed someone who's more recognizable. Well, then couldn't they use like the puppet user? Isn't that long range?
Yeah, he would be considered a range. Yeah. But I honestly didn't really feel any difference between those types other than like just a change in the jutsus, because a majority of the time I played as a range type, and I had like fireball jutsu, phoenix flower jutsu as my ultimate, and I alternated between healing type and range type sometimes. And with my healing class, it comes with the Sakura's moves, this chakra healing, the healing jutsu. I'm trying to think. What
100 hands.
Yeah.
100 hands healing.
Yeah, that technique. Yeah. I don't know. There was so many things missing in this game.
You know, like actual effort and care. To be fair, I did not buy this game. I played the beta with Corey. And we did not have fun at all. I didn't stream it. I was going to, but then I was just like, nah, I just feel like hanging out. So I didn't get the game after that because I was so just disappointed. At least BlazBlue made me want to play it. You know, as much as I shit on it, I at least had fun with the gameplay. One of the most important things. That's why it's like, you know, it weighs so much on my scale, because it's not just important. It's omni-important.
Shinobi Strikers was very lackluster.
What did you rate it?
Done more with this game.
Very
low. If I would have rated out of 10,
like below 5.
Yeah, most definitely. And I usually don't rate games that low, but Shinobi Strikers is one of those games that's very lower than a 5.
Yeah, I'd probably give it. I'd do the same probably. Though I'd even probably say BlazBlue would probably be better. Without story mode, that's 1 point already off the list. Without, I can already think just off the list. I would just remove. If it's not, since it wasn't fun, that's a point off the list. The gameplay wasn't that interesting when I played in the beta, so that's just so many negative points, you know. It's just a cash-in. You can feel it, you know. It's like it. In my opinion, it's like Xenoverse. Like Xenoverse was a cool idea, but it just wasn't like it came out undercooked. It came out, you know. The sequel is better, but it's not. People seem to think that it's better than Fighters. No, it is not. Continue though, Jonathan.
Yeah, but I'm actually done talking about Shinobi Strikers.
Yeah, let's just move on to better games.
So, my number 3 game would be NBA 2K19.
You got to talk about the controversy. You got to talk about it.
Okay, so I'm not the type to play to purchase VC unless I have money left over, if that's the only time. But other than that, I'm not like thinking, oh, I need to buy VC now, or I needed to be a better player. I honestly don't mind the grind on 2K, but I do feel like I played 2K18 last year, but the difference from grinding in this year is a lot better, just because each game back from 2K18, they gave you like 500 VC per game, which literally it does nothing. Cause
it's almost like Fallout 76, where it's like, oh, we feel bad that you get, you know, that you didn't like your duffel bag. Here's 500 in-game credits.
Yeah, and as you level up, the grind is even worse. But it really was irritating back in 2K18. But in 2K19, you get like at least at least 1200 or up to 1500 VC per game, depending on your progress and your stats in the current game you did. But I actually enjoyed playing 2K19 more, and the story mode itself, I liked it even more than 2K18, just because the story is about your character. Your character wants to become the best in the NBA. He wants to be an NBA star, but nothing goes his way. So he has to play in China, and and improve his skills. And your character is just not getting noticed. So he ends up moving on from playing in China to playing in the G League, and now your character does get noticed, and it has great stars in the game. Like you have Anthony Mackie in the game. Who else? I can't remember that guy's. I know his face, but I just can't remember his name. But I thought the acting was really good, and there were moments where I actually laughed my ass off at some moments. And like back to the actual VC controversy. I know 2K, they are pretty much greedy with their VC.
A company who's greedy, who's with a sports game? Oh man, I've never heard of that before.
It doesn't affect me because I don't care about spending VC, but I know
it's still unacceptable.
Yeah, I know, but I know a lot of 2K players, they do spend a lot of money on VC to get to a overall 90 or higher. And
okay, but here's my big question, if you don't mind. Is it an improvement? Does it improve off the previous? Have you played the previous game, right?
Yeah.
Does it improve? Does it have significant additions? Does it like? Is there a reason? Do you recommend someone to purchase it or rent it?
If you want to just play 2K, just play, then I would say rent it. But if you haven't played 2K, I would say definitely buy it. But some improvements I noticed was in the My League, they added more options and more they added more options for you when you went to make trades, or just several new settings that makes the My League mode more fun for the player. And also
But do you think that could have do you think that the game could have just got, the 2018 could have just got an update and it could have just been in there? They didn't need to make a whole separate game.
Yes and no, honestly. Like, don't get me wrong, a 2K game every year, yeah, I can understand people saying, why don't they just update it? But after a while, once you reach an overall 99, it's like, what's the point of even, playing again? And also,
that's my biggest. I just wanted you to address that because that's my biggest problem with playing a sports game. I am a big lover of sports, which, an anime lover loves sports. That's fucking nice. You're a nerd. Dude, people still use that word. I got called a nerd today playing Rocket League. I'm not even joking. A soccer car game that children also play. I got called a nerd, and I have not been called a nerd since I was in middle school. Maybe even. I did not know people still call people nerds. I thought being called nerd is an endearment. It means you're smart. There's the Geek Squad, and it's just funny. It's just like kind of went off on a tangent, but the stats. Like I feel like the Madden games, I know are not made by the same people, but I just feel just like a 2K. It's just it's just a, it's just another sports game. It's another repeat. It's another cash. Like what Madden does, like it's just a roster update, and they try to disguise, oh, you have new motion, and you can. EA is very lucky that they can get away with this stuff with the sports players, because when they start betraying them, that's when they know they're in trouble. Like they're already losing stock, and they're already in pretty deep trouble with what they did with Star Wars. Shame. But and what they did with other games like Need for Speed and certain other ones that I cannot think at the moment. But 2K, I like 2K. They've made, they're publishing or they make games. I think they do both.
Yeah, they do both.
I think because they have something to do with Borderlands. Can't believe we haven't seen Borderlands. Anyway, back to what go ahead. Back to what you were saying.
Yeah, but for like the new stuff they have, like of course they have a different story mode, which like yes, 2K does have a story mode. Every year they have a different like story mode, like setting for your character and stuff. But that's really like one of the big reasons why people do buy 2K games. It's the story mode, and also like what do you call those things? They have these pack openings, like I know FIFA has those, where like you do pack openings for characters and stuff. But I think this game was honestly more fun for me than it was for 2K19, because just the grinding in 2K18 was just terrible, and I don't know. Oh, I'm just gonna go to my number 2 game. My number 2 game is Dragon Ball FighterZ. I really enjoyed playing through the story mode, and Android 21 as a villain, like even before I played the game, I already knew I was going to use her, just because like her character design itself, I love her character design. And when I got into the game and actually unlocked her after beating the game, oh my gosh, I loved her even more. And she is my best character in FighterZ. And there were moments where I was kind of confused playing the story mode, just because I was just starting out in the story. So I was kind of lost after I started the second arc. And also within the story mode, there are 3 different arcs you complete with from different perspectives. But after I started the second arc, I was a little confused, like what's going on. But then I soon realized, oh, they're doing like different perspectives, or yeah, they're doing different perspectives of 21's character, which I think is pretty awesome if you want the audience to get to know a character better. So, yeah, I thought the story mode was really cool, but also the gameplay itself is super fun. No pun intended. But it's amazing how fluent every character feels. Every character feels like. Just hold on. Phone's ringing.
I'm gonna totally have a fucking deleted scenes.
TikTok. Sorry about that. Every character in the game feels different when you use them, and so honestly, I only really use Android 21, Super Saiyan Goku, and Frieza. Those are like my 3 best characters in the game. I try other characters, but I feel more comfortable using those 3 because they feel like my type. But the gameplay is amazing, and I believe the Arc System just did an amazing job of making this both competitive and also casual, because anybody could get into this game and still have a good time. And me, I'm like in between. Like I do want to play games. I do play fighting games competitively. I don't like play for money, but I'm just saying when I play fighting games, I play to win. And I do show a little bit of reaction if I lose or not, but that's pretty normal. But I like the competition in fighting games, and it's just an adrenaline rush when you play fighting games. And surprisingly, there's a lot of things you can do. I'm very surprised that, you know, the game included a tournament mode for offline mode and also for online. That now they have tournament mode for both online and offline, and they have a practice mode where you can, of course, get better with your character. They have a combo challenge where you choose a character and then you go through different lists that helps you learn more about that character so you can improve on your skills and fighters. And when it comes to the online mode, you have the rank match, you have casual match, and you have these events where you can either invite your friends or you can just join randoms and just fight boss battles against the computer, and get some like awesome items. Because I did this event one time where we had to fight Bardock on like a high difficulty, and it was tough, but it was also fun at the same time. And God, this game just felt so amazing, and this is one of my favorite Dragon Ball games ever. Like next to Budokai 3 and Tenkaichi 3, Fighters is up there with one of my favorite games.
Okay, can I say something?
Yeah.
I'm not gonna talk about Fighters until we get to my list, because I have a lot to say on it. Very differing opinions on you. But I will say one thing. I will ask you this: do you believe that Fighters is better than Xenoverse 2? Because that is the big debate between Dragon Ball fans. Is it better to have more characters, or is it better to have more substance? Is this what makes a Dragon Ball game a Dragon Ball game?
Personally, I like a fighting game with a large character roster because it gives me more options. Like with don't get me wrong, Fighters is really fun, and sometimes playing a game with 20 characters, it does kind of get repetitive. But I honestly, because these two are completely different games, because like I said, this is more of a competitive.
That's why I'm asking. That's why I'm asking you. Do you think what's the better Dragon? Like what nails more of the Dragon Ball essence? Is it a game that has more characters, or a game that, like Fighters, So I'm gonna state my opinion.
I
believe.
want to say both, honestly.
No.
I would say both.
No. Here's my opinion. Fighters is not only does Fighters beat Xenoverse, it destroys it in every single category. The only thing it does not destroy it in is number of characters. I know they are two separate beasts. However, they are both Dragon Ball games, and I'm comparing them by how they feel. Fighters nails the character interactions. You know what? I'm just gonna talk about my feelings on Fighters. Fighters nails the aesthetic. It nails the aesthetic of a Dragon Ball game. I've played a lot of Dragon Ball games. I've even played Sagas on the GameCube. Yeah. I've played some. I haven't played all the Dragon Ball games, but when I played Xenoverse, you know, that was like the first one I put on my computer. And I was like, yeah, this is gonna be like a great Dragon Ball game. And then the first one was, ugh. The second one has a better story and but it's not Dragon Ball. It's not like they don't nail how the characters would act. They don't nail like in Fighters, all the characters act in character for the most part. For the most part, they act in character. Yamcha, when he gets his revenge on Nappa for, you know, the Cyberman thing, they didn't have to put that in the game, but they did. You know, I would have never thought of that. What they did with that, what is it called? The reverse dramatic finish on Nappa. So you can make Yamcha go into the famous meme-worthy pose, or you can do it to Nappa. That is the greatest. It's just the best thing. You know, and the way they made Yamcha good in this game. They made Yamcha the Dragon Ball punching bag, just like the Naruto punching bag being Tenten, except I actually like Yamcha. Actually, it's funny. Yamcha, I enjoyed to play as in the story. His moves are very quick, and you know, and he's very funny. He's very relatable. You know, it's just the same. Like in the show, he gets sidelined really hard. You know. I love all the characters in this game. Every single one of them. You know. It's a shame Trunks just doesn't get to participate in the story. You know. Even though he was like a enemy. You know what I mean, Jonathan? Like, like Beerus is there. And, you know. But he doesn't participate. You know why he does, but it just kind of feels silly, you know. I love the combat in this game. See, Xenoverse combat, you have to admit, Jonathan, that combat sucks. It fucking sucks. Sure, you can have tons of moves, but it's so unbalanced, and, you know, like, one thing you can't, like, you gotta admit, Jonathan, that Xenoverse is extremely unbalanced in multiplayer. And in single player. It's extremely unbalanced. You just gotta have the better numbers. And that's not fun. The game is about living through your fantasy. Being around your favorite characters. And that's what Fighters did. Sure, you're in, you know, I'm not gonna give spoilers. I just covered the game on PC because PS4 had the block scenes, which I took off points in the PS4 version because that pisses me off, and it's anti-consumer bullshit. If that was a decision by ARX, I bet you... Do you think that was a decision by ARX, or do you think that was a decision by Bandai? I'm leaning on Bandai considering what they've done in the past.
I would say Bandai.
I would say Bandai because they did that shit for Ninja Storm 4. Thank God for ARC. They, like, even non-Dragon Ball fans saw ARC and picked up Dragon Ball for the first time, and they loved this game. Even non-Dragon Ball fans did it. Xenoverse, it alienated people. Even non-Dragon Ball fans. Have you met many people who are not Dragon Ball fans that like Xenoverse Two or one? Not many.
Not to my knowledge.
But fighters, how many of your non-Dragon Ball friends have picked up the game, and do you have any? I do. I have friends.
Yeah, I do.
Yeah, do you have friends that picked up and played the game and they enjoyed it?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Cause like I said, it's
more accessible.
Anybody can pick
Anybody.
Up yeah.
And that's what's so great about it. Dragon Ball was a show that, you know, that I got into when I was a bit older. I watched it a little bit as a kid, but not much. But when I got older, I was really into it because I was just like, it was like this show, you know, it was like this show, and it had characters that you cared about, characters that you love. In Xenoverse, do you really honestly care what happens to the characters? Do you care what happens to anybody?
On Xenoverse?
Yeah.
Yeah, I actually like the story mode in Xenoverse. But the gameplay itself in Xenoverse is just it's not that good.
Yeah. Okay, well, honestly, the story mode didn't do it for me and a lot of people. But, you know, Jonathan's the special snowflake. I'm just kidding. But that's okay. That's but honestly, fighters, while its story is not good, it does have some good moments. Unlike Xenoverse, which I did not have a single good moment in. I at least thought Android 21 was a good villain, and that's what Dragon Ball needs. It needs a good villain. If you're gonna do a Dragon Ball game with a story, you need a good damn villain. Oh my god. Okay, you gotta admit that Xenoverse's villains were lame. You gotta say that 21 was better. You gotta say she was better. Right, Jonathan?
Yeah, have more 21 had more character to it.
She just wants to eat people, man. You just don't understand. She just wants to eat people.
I mean, actually, which one is Mira is the Towa is the girl, right?
You don't see. He doesn't even remember. He doesn't even remember. That's how forgettable.
No,
see,
I
Android
remember,
21.
It's just that sometimes I get them. Sometimes I get Towa and Mira mixed up, but
Mira.
Yeah, Mira. Yeah, Towa is the girl. Yeah. So yeah. Like Towa, I feel like she had more of a character than Mira because I don't know. Mira just felt like emotionless villain.
See, what would have made Android 21 better, a little bit better in my opinion, is if she was like Jiro's wife, maybe like 16. You know how TFS made it like that Jiro's son died, and so he made Android 16 as like, I was like, that is so much better, you know?
Yeah. And
just instead of kill Son Goku, kill Son Goku. No, but if that was Jiro's reason for wanting to kill Goku, it's not like the reason Jiro's so insistent on just killing Goku alone. Because Goku, you know, while he did fight the Red Ribbon Army, killing someone is not killing. Goku doesn't kill things good people. Like if 16 was a good person, he just came in there just because he was drafted or whatever. You know, that's better. But you know, it's anyways. So like, and it also continues the plot of the show. You know, it's not just, you know, and it treats characters with respect. How, Jonathan, have you seen all of the character interactions?
Yeah.
And what do you think about them?
I like them.
Yeah. They all like fucking one of my favorites. When Piccolo and Yamcha are having a talk, and he's like, "I see why Bulma chose Vegeta." I was like, "Damn!" I love how it's like the Marvel movies. I love how these characters work off each other, you know. And it's just so infuriating when Xenoverse, where it's like they have so many characters, I don't care about more than half of them. Sure, you got a lot of characters. Congratulations. I don't care about them. Especially the GT ones, because GT suck! No, just okay, see, you know what's really interesting to me? Is that Xenoverse doesn't have any OG characters. It's the Dragon Ball game, but it doesn't have any OG. Don't you find that interesting, Jonathan?
Mm-hmm.
They put in GT characters, but OG characters that, you know, people actually like. I'm just saying, it's just odd to me that, you know, if it's really about having characters from all series, why doesn't it have it from the original? No King Piccolo, no, you know, no like Android 8, no. Even Extreme Budokan for the 3DS had Ado and other androids that weren't, you know. I just find it weird. That's all. That,
yeah.
You know. I loved. Anyway, so back to like, I thought, you got to admit, in the third arc where you're just playing as Android 18 and Android 16 for a long stretch of time, without any new characters, anything interesting happening for a while, they dragged that out just so it would match the other stories in length. Honestly, Jonathan, if you haven't seen where I was talking about, I was skipping a lot of the fights because it was like, you know, I wanted to just talk mainly about the story in the PC version. But I did show off some of the times of me fighting. But a lot of the story mode, you got to admit, is fucking grinding. It's just grinding, you know, to get your numbers up, because weaker characters are just gonna get destroyed. You know. And like you said, you only mainly use 3 characters. I, on the other hand, used a lot of them. I've at least played every character at least once. But the only character I don't like to play as is Ginyu. I don't like his motif, but I do respect, and I did like his dialogue and stuff and all that other kind of stuff. I do wish Raditz was in the game, because, you know, he doesn't get as much love as he should. Poor Raditz. I mean, even Xenoverse had Raditz. Oh, it's just the same, like, yeah, you know, my favorite characters were Yamcha, not Goku, Frieza, Vegeta, Super Saiyan Blue Vegeta. I like to play as him because I like shooting off the Gala gun just normally. I also like doing the blue characters are special because they can do the what's it called? The extra move if you have enough ki. I also love how quickly the ki charges. They could have made that obnoxiously slow, but it's really fast. You know. Some games, it's like, you know how in Xenoverse it takes so long to charge, you have to equip something better to help you charge faster, and even then it's slow as shit.
Well, the difference is, like, difference is in fighters, it's 2D, it's a 2D fighting game where it's a fast-paced 2D fighting game. It's a 2.5. I'd say it's 2.5. I mean, if you look at the oh my god, the artwork. Let's talk about the artwork, man. You didn't talk about it that much. I'm surprised. I was about to burst at the seams because you didn't talk about the artwork. The artwork is fucking gorgeous. Like, this is better than any of the animation I've ever seen from any Dragon Ball. Do you agree? Yeah, no, it's no doubt. Like the graphics and the art style is just amazing.
Oh,
I agree with that.
This game was so good that it killed Capcom Infinite before the games even came out. That's how good Fighters is. This game is so good it killed another game before either of them came out. You gotta say that's pretty impressive. At E3, what was E3 2017? We were talking. It's like, me and Jonathan were like talking about E3. I watched E3 with my buddy Matt, and how well did Capcom Infinite do, Jonathan? We didn't even talk about it in our best games because it was shit, right? Like, and not only that, Capcom Infinite was so bad. It also had bugs at launch. Did Fighters have that many bugs at launch? I can't remember any big bugs. Maybe balancing issues at most, but like the game looked just as advertised, unlike Capcom Infinite, where it looked like Mass Effect Andromeda bad, you know? Like it just looked wrong. But you know, out of everything, an anime fighting game you know, this is what Dragon Ball is. It's a fighting game. That's what Dragon Ball always is. But unfortunately, it doesn't have the beam struggles. Neither does Xenoverse, which I still don't understand because that's like one of the most iconic things. But, you know.
Beam struggles would cause a lot of problems online.
Yeah, I guess they would. But, you know, you have the fight, like, what's it called? I don't know. Maybe someday they'll figure it out, to make it work. I mean, didn't they do that in Budokai, and Budokai was multiplayer?
No, it wasn't multiplayer.
Really?
It wasn't.
They did make it work. Oh, I'm sorry, Jonathan. They did make it work. You want to know how they made it work? Extreme Budokan for the 3DS. It was online, and you can use beam struggles with any character. And the artwork is great. It's also made by Arc System Work. Can I mention that that's what angered me? Is that people are like, this is Arc's first great Dragon Ball game. They actually made Extreme Budokan for the 3DS, but I guess nobody wants to talk about that. It's a good game, people, you know, fucking acknowledge it. I feel like that's a death for Extreme Budokan, is that even though it looks great, I played it for over hundreds of hours because of how much I enjoyed it. But for consoles, Dragon Ball FighterZ, it's the definitive Dragon Ball game in my opinion. I don't think any game could ever top. I mean, I'm glad to be wrong. I'm glad to be wrong. But but FighterZ, it's amazing. The songs in the game are great. We didn't talk about that, which we really should have. We actually didn't really talk about that for like Boruto, or we talk about that for because Naruto songs are notoriously good, you know.
Mhm.
Are there any good in Boruto or Black Clover? Are there any good songs? Because all the openings.
Well, with Black Clover, I do like the music in Black Clover, but I don't know the name of the songs. But I just know that when I first play it, like I really enjoy the music.
Okay, I just wanted to talk about that because that's an important thing for an anime game because the music is important. Okay, just didn't want to leave our, you know, I wanted to cover our bases. Yeah. Let's see what else.
I was going to talk about #1 game.
Oh well, before that, I want to finish up with FighterZ. I'm gonna just talk about. So for PC, I gave Dragon Ball FighterZ for a 9 out of 10 and PS4 for an 8 out of 10. The reason I gave it an 8 out of 10 on PS4 was because of the block scenes. That's anti-consumer, and I don't like it, Bandai. I told you to stop. People have told you that you need to stop it, and you shouldn't put that stuff in the game. People are gonna put it online. Even people who you gave review copies put it online. Look at TFS, the biggest covers in. You got to admit, Jonathan, like they were covering that game. They were showing off the story and shit. And nothing happened to them. It's like, why do they even bother? You know, if anything, it made more people buy the game. That made me more excited because I saw, like, if you legitimately like the story of Xenoverse, you legitimately like the story of FighterZ, I'll understand both cases. But in my opinion, I didn't like the story in FighterZ. I did like the villain a lot. I love her so much. And if you want to watch me cover the game, I just finished yesterday. The online is balanced and it's fun, and it feels like a Dragon Ball game. The punches, everything feels like it has weight to it. You know, I love anime games that give you options, like games that don't force you to only listen to the Japanese audio. Like, it gives you the choice for dub, and the dubbing for Dragon Ball is great. Like, one of the very few. Like, Naruto has a good dub, Black Clover has a good dub. You know what I mean, Jonathan?
Mm-hmm.
You know, out of all the terrible anime games, Dragon Ball FighterZ is a good one.
For my #1 game of the year, is Marvel Spider-Man. I love this game so much because this game really made me feel like I was actually Spider-Man. Because the webbing, I feel like, is the most improved web slinging ever in a Spider-Man game. Because I played I played Spider-Man 1, I played Spider-Man 2, I played Spider-Man 3. You know, I played Web of Shadows. I played all those games.
Web
But with
Shadows,
this,
really?
yeah, Web of Shadows, yeah. But with this game, it so much felt so fluent. It just felt right. You know, cuz
That's the best. That's the best way you can describe it. It just feels right. Like as I'm showing you currently playing Marvel vs. And look at how you move. Look at this movement. It's so great, and it's just, ugh, like they just nail it. There's so many little animations, so many little. It's just amazing, and it's a little infuriating when it just doesn't work. Sometimes it doesn't work, it didn't happen to everybody, but it definitely happened to me more than once, so I have to mention it. Go ahead, Jonathan. I just wanted to mention that.
usually superhero
Games
superhero
are terrible.
based off, yeah, they are terrible. But with this, Insomniac Games had all the freedom to create their own story for the Spider-Man character, and I felt like this story was just, it was so good. It really was a great story from all the characters that we see in the game, from the interactions, even it
You gotta mention well, only Dr. Octavius was the only, well, good villain.
I like Mr. Negative as a villain as well, like his backstory.
Yeah, his backstory, but overall he kind of, he just wasn't good as Otto. You felt for Otto. You know, you didn't feel as much.
Yeah,
you watched Otto's progression.
Feel for
like
Mr. Negative.
Yeah. Well, you felt Otto
because
you felt his struggle.
I
You felt his pain. You understand, and you get sucked into Peter's emotion. I don't want to spoil it, because if you have not seen the story, if you do not have this game for PS4, you need to fix that. If you are not a comic book fan, you can even enjoy this game even if you're not a comic book fan. This game is that good. It's like Fighters. It's the Fighters up here. And I will agree that it does suck that this game is not for other consoles, like it's not coming for PC. Like all the mods they could put in for this would be so great and stuff. I agree with that. That does suck. However, I also understand that that Sony owns the thing, and copyright's a bitch, and the payment, and it's all just a yeah. And I agree, like this is the best comic book game I have ever played in my life. Yes, better than any of the Arkham games combined. The Arkham games may be good, but just like movies, Marvel does it better. I'm about to. I don't want to drop my mic because it's expensive. So, but it's true. Yeah, animated movies are done better. Animated movies and shows are done better with DC. While Marvel does have some good animated shows, most of the time their shows are not that good. The only exceptions being, Iron Man Armored Adventures and Spectacular Spider-Man's okay. But it's like with how popular the Avengers movies were and Infinite. Jonathan, what's the kind of game we got? We got a Lego game, not a normal Avengers game. Like I suggested this idea to Jonathan. Why not let you be able, give Insomnia the rights to make a or another good developing company, give them. Like, I would love to see a game where you're flying around the city as Iron Man, or, smashing around places as the Hulk, striking people down, going to Asgard as Thor. Think of how good of that game is, the story. They could even give it a whole new story if they wanted. You know what I mean?
Mm-hmm.
There's so many villains they could choose from that they've had over the years. It's such a shame that, that we may never, ever get that kind of game. We'll only get Lego games because they're too afraid to take the risk. This was their first time where they nailed it. This game got 9 out of 10s across the board. And, I definitely enjoyed my time playing with it. The combat was hit and miss for me, but overall, with the exception of two stealth sections, I really enjoyed the game's story. I didn't like Mr. Negative that much, but I loved Aunt May. I loved Yuri Lowenthal as Spider-Man. You want to talk about that? Let's talk about that. The voice acting choices. J. Jonah Jameson's voice was perfect.
Yeah, I definitely agree.
Oh, and Yuri Lowenthal and Spider-Man. Oh my God, that was like a choice in heaven. Actually, man, like, I don't like. It's like he's just like perfect. He's, you know, you totally see him in the role.
Yeah, there were moments where I couldn't even realize this is Sasuke's voice in Spider-Man.
And I love
like,
Sasuke's voice. We both love Sasuke. And we could, like, at times we just felt like it was a different person. Of course you heard the little bits of, because it's Yuri Lowenthal's voice, but, you know, I love many different iterations of Spider-Man's voice. Like, Spectacular Spider-Man has Drake Bell as the voice of, you know, Spider-Man, and that's an amazing choice. I think that's Spectacular. I think that's
Ultimate.
Oh, that's Ultimate.
Ultimate Spider-Man.
That Henry Conroy is, or someone Ken.
I actually don't know. Yeah.
Okay. So it's Ultimate. Like, Drake Bell's perfect because what is Drake Bell? He's a fucking cocky, you know. He's a cocky, smart mouth who is a very cool talking dude. That's what he is. That's what he played in Drake and Josh. That's what the dude is. It was perfect casting, just like Yuri Lowenthal's Spider-Man. It's just another great role on his resume.
Insomniac, I think, just added one of, I think, the most coolest feature for a single-player game, and this really fits Peter's character itself. The photo mode, like, it wasn't necessary, but
there's really, already a way to take photos. It's useless.
No, but the thing is, it wasn't necessary, but it just adds so much to the game. You know, it's because, like, you can literally take, like, you just swinging around the city or whatever, and you can just take a picture, like, literally just use the left directional button to just pause the game, and then just choose different options to make a creative photo and share it. And not only that, like I said before, it just fits Peter's character of the fact that he's a photographer, and this is something that he does as Spider-Man. Take pictures, just doing dumb stuff. You know, it's just a good feature in my opinion.
All right, hold on.
Because I have over like 100 photos on my PS4 just from using this feature.
I do as well have photos just to try out the mode, and I did enjoy it a little bit, but it's not a standout mode. It's like diorama mode. It's not needed, and it doesn't add anything.
I wouldn't say it's not needed, but
not needed.
It's like I said, it fits Peter's character, man.
Just like how you know, Spider-Man 3, that dance fit his character. So no, I'm not gonna get into that. Anyway, anyway. But, so recently in the game, Spider-Man got the Sam Raimi suit. Hashtag, where's that Amazing Spider-Man suit, Insomnia?
We don't need it.
No, we do need it. Shut up. It's the best movie.
I didn't see people asking for it.
Well, shut up. They're wrong.
Left and right, people asking for Raimi suit. Not one person I saw, or rarely.
I did actually see a few people. Asked for the Amazing
Oh.
Spider-Man suit. I like it a lot. I love the amazing. In my opinion, the Amazing Spider-Man movie is the best Spider-Man live-action movie. It's better than Homecoming.
No.
Shut up. And Homecoming's better than the original trilogy. Deal with it. It's my opinion. Alright, anyway. Spider-Man is an amazing game. If you have not played this game, fix that mistake. That is a mistake. If you truly believe that games do not need a single player, this game will prove you wrong. This will 100% prove you wrong because this game feels great. You know, Spider-Man doesn't need multiplayer. I do like a lot of, you know, characters in this. I love, you know, Aunt May. She feels like a real aunt. You know, some versions of Aunt May don't feel real. Amazing Spider-Man was real to me. This one felt extremely real to me. I liked all the power. For the most part, I liked most of the powers of the suits. What did you think about? Did you use all of them or no?
I tried them out. I tried out all the powers, but my favorite one is the Web Blossom. My other one is I like the Battle Focus, but I felt like the Web Blossom. What is that one move? I'm trying to think. Oh yeah, what do you call it? The mechanical legs. I like the mechanical legs. And there was one. What is it? Shoot. Oh yeah, it was that one. The one where you can summon a bunch of spider bots to help you out. And there was like a not one turn kill, but a one punch kill mod. I was like, yes, I love this.
I like the insult suit, the comic book suit. That not only does it look great, it has a hilarious power. I like the electric punches. That's always fun. Let me look at the list here. I have okay, Battle Focus is good. Web Blossom's good. Sound of Silence is useless. Hollow Decoy, I haven't really. Bulletproof, not that good. Arms Race, nah. Spider Bros, kind of cool. Negative Shockwaves, okay. Electric Punch is good. It's really good. I liked using it. Rock Out is. King of the Ring, sucks. Quad Damage, oh, it's so good. It's so good. Tiny Alloy Plates, pretty useless. Low Gravity, useless. Iron Arms, cool idea, but it wasn't that good. Blitz is good. Spirit Fire's good. Quips is fucking hilarious. Unrelenting Fury is really good. Resupply is really good. I don't have all the suits because of the challenge tokens and stuff. Jonathan, do you want to talk about the token balance in this game?
Well, for one thing, I don't see an issue with it. I know where you're coming from, but the thing is, you have many options to get them. For example, like when you beat the game, you have a new game plus.
Doesn't
you keep
count.
all your skills.
Doesn't count.
Okay,
what if you didn't have that? What if you didn't have that? You'd be stuck with.
You can still like speed up the time to get the challenge tokens.
Okay,
you know?
Okay, but here's the thing. But why not make the actual challenges more fun instead? But that just shows how unfun the challenges are. If that you would need to go through the story mode again just to get the ones that you're good at. So
the thing is, it's New Game Plus, and
yeah, but that wasn't available at launch.
It was already planned to come in the game anyway. They already said we're working on New Game Plus. It's just taking a while. Yeah. And it happened. So. Yeah. But I'm just saying, like, you have many options to get those challenge tokens, and that's, like I said before, you can speed up your time to beat those challenge tokens to get more, to get those outfits.
I did not get all the suit, as you can see, because of all the challenge tokens. I am terrible at, well, I'm decent at stealth, but those stealth challenges are so sucky. The drone challenges, you gotta get so perfect. You gotta get so perfect, and it's just, and the controls don't work all the time to how you move it. I did get pretty much every other suit, but as you can see, there were some I did not get because of only challenge. And the gadgets, a lot of them require 4 more challenge tokens, and it's utterly ridiculous. 2 challenge tokens. I'm showing it off now. 3 challenge tokens. 3 challenge tokens. 2 challenge tokens. 2 challenge tokens. Now, I wanted to show you guys how far I am in completion. 97%. I am 97%, and that's how many challenge tokens, and 97%, and all of the, and I still have multiple gadgets that are not done. I have several suits a few suits that I do not have. So, and I have challenges that I don't have beaten. So, it tells you just how little the challenges are considered part of, because that's a lot of stuff left. True, this game has a lot of good content. The side missions are actually kind of fun. Some of them are better than others. Pigeon chasing is not fun, but
it's easy though.
It's easy. It is easy, but it's not fun. But like if you, I have 29 research points. I have a lot of research points. Why can't I spend any of them? You get so many points in research. And yet, it's an opposite part that I had from the beginning of the game. I didn't have any research points, and now I don't have any challenge points, so I can't spend any of my other tokens. I don't like that I have to go to New Game Plus and start a whole new game just to complete the game that I beat. I mean,
if you really enjoyed the story mode, you would go back to New Game Plus with all
but
your
I didn't.
skills
Yeah, but I don't enjoy the story mode enough to play it again. That's where my point came to the story. Spider-Man is good, yes. But would I play it again? Me personally, no. Now, I also do not consider the DLC worth it. Sure, there are a lot of new suits, and that's cool and all. But for the price point, and you can buy them separately, which I do appreciate, I am not interested. I may watch it. The only one I have a mild interest in is the Black Cat one, because I love Black Cat in many versions. But, Turf Wars, I don't care. I don't care because I don't care about Hammerhead's alright, but I did like Silver Sable in this game. There are very few, not that many. How many adaptations of Silver Sable have there really been? Not that many. Like because I didn't remember seeing her in Ultimate. I didn't finish it, but at least through the many seasons that I did see, I don't remember seeing her. She did show up towards the end of Spectacular, but she wasn't really in it that much. She was Spider-Man on PS4, and that's why it made my number 5 slot. Unlike Dragon Ball, Spider-Man didn't win a single Game of the Year award. Not a single one. It didn't win anything. Dragon Ball at least won Best Fighting Game. It didn't win Best Story. It didn't win anything. And that just says a lot about the other games, just how good they were. I pretty much knew that Spider-Man wouldn't win Game of the Year. My friends were unconvinced, like Jonathan here. He thought Spider-Man was going to be Game of the Year. Correct?
I mean, if it didn't Game of the Year or whatever, but I just thought that it deserves one award from that Game Awards. Because, like I said, throughout playing the game, I really enjoyed the soundtrack of the game. I felt like the soundtrack really represented Spider-Man as a character, and like you said, there's many different categories, right? And we already know that the only 3 games that, of course, is going to win something is God of War, Red Dead, and Spider-Man. So it really did surprise me that Spider-Man didn't at least win one award.
At least it got nominated. Some games didn't even get nominated.
It got nominated. But like I said, everybody, like the whole gaming community knows that the 3 games that definitely has a better chance of winning an award is God of War, Red Dead, and Spider-Man. We, as a gaming community, we know the main 3 games that definitely has a better chance of winning an award is God of War, Spider-Man, and Red Dead Redemption 2. We know that. Like I said, it just surprised me that Spider-Man didn't win one award. That's all I'm saying. If it didn't get Game of the Year, it's whatever. It's still my Game of the Year at the end of the day.
I'm going to be fair here and say that I expected Spider-Man to win one thing, but it didn't even win. My friends kept pushing that it was going to get Game of the Year, and I was saying, no, it's not. It's going to be another game, and I'm going to wait and saying on which game that was going to be for last, because, it's my Game of the Year. Would you recommend someone to rent this game or buy this game?
I would say buy this game, honestly. This Spider-Man...
What about if you're not a comic book fan?
if you're not a comic book fan, you will still enjoy the story mode, and it will probably get you interested into like checking out a comic book about Spider-Man. You know,
That's what it did for me.
Yeah, like you don't have to be a comic book fan to play this game. You can be a casual comic book viewer. You can go into this game not knowing anything about Spider-Man, and then coming out of this game, you will have knowledge on his backstory, and you will want to check out a comic book by Spider-Man.
My personal top 5. I'm kidding. So Spider-Man, I gave it an 8 out of 10. I already discussed why. I just got an amazing glitch that you'll see later, Jonathan. An 8 out of 10. Moving on, Dragon Ball. I already talked about that. I enjoyed using all the characters. Talk about that briefly. The music's good. I don't like how I didn't take all points. I should have done that. But how greedy Bandai's being with the music packs. $15. Really? For two different music packs, by the way. They're both $15. $30. You know how much this game is right now? I bought it for 20, so that's pretty insulting. You know what I mean? $15 for music, just for fighting music. And this is for Xenoverse 2 as well. Bandai, you gotta stop being so greedy. Number 3 is Super Smash Bros. Ultimate. I love the Smash Bros. Series. I've been playing since I was a boy. And it's gotten better, definitely gotten better over time, from the terrible N64 controller, fucking carpal tunnel syndrome, and then to GameCube controller, hashtag the best controller. Even Nintendo knows it because they made it an option. They made a specific Smash GameCube controller because people begged for it, and you know, they did it, and it's awesome, and I love it. My friend Matt has it. He's a huge Smash fan. It's his second favorite series next to Pokemon. Smash is you know, one of the very few games where it is definitely replayable. I gave Smash Ultimate a 9 out of 10. I love the combat. I love all the characters you can play at. Everyone's back. Everybody. And as Jonathan snickering during the Word of Light trailer, watching everyone, you know, get fucking annihilated. Ain't that right, Jonathan?
It brought too many memories from Infinity War.
I can't say anything more. The soundtrack, you know it's good, because it's got all the soundtrack from all the games that you love. The fan-picked tracks and the fan-picked stages. All the stages are back, except for one, but it's Pokefloat, and they couldn't, you know, nobody liked that stage. But all the fan favorites are back, and some, you know, upgraded stages, and the characters are all upgraded, of course, and some have been balanced.
Do they have all the Nintendo 64 stages?
Except for Pokefloats. Yep.
Oh, okay.
Everything's back. Everything's back.
Alright, I'll just check.
They just announced at the Game Awards, Joker from Persona is gonna be in it. I'm not that hyped for it, but you know, he could be fun. So, and my friend Matt's gonna. I do not own Smash. My friend Matt owns it. He always buys it. He pre-orders it. We play Smash at his house all the time. It's a tradition. It's a tradition. We always play Smash. I mean, the last time I had a Smash game was Brawl. But I love Smash. I do very much enjoy it. I've played, you know, I've played every edition of it. I extremely enjoy it. It's gotten better every single time. And the only thing I'm upset about is that there's no custom stages, which really sucks. I love that in Super Smash Bros. 4. I feel like they could definitely still do it. Smash is a great release. You know it's great. It's fucking Smash. It's what convinced many people to buy a console who, for some reason, didn't buy a Nintendo Switch until this point. They finally got it and they love it. The Switch is honestly the competitor to Sony right now, because Microsoft is not in competition with. Maybe they might be next gen, which they're trying to say, oh yeah, we're gonna be. But what exclusives? What exclusives did they have that you know? The only thing like that they have that I actually really enjoy is Halo. And last Halo was terrible. You know, the story is but you know, I don't really play Smash for its story. I play it for its fun characters and gameplay and the new items and all the new smashes and trophies. The gameplay is much quicker. It's like a mixture between Melee and the last Smash, and it's not on a terrible console that I hate, and it's an actual successful one. And now you can take Smash on the go, which the 3DS kind of played with. From my number 3, which was a 9 out of 10, we're moving to my straight 10 out of 10s, baby. With Radiant Historia Perfect Chronology. Yes, I will acknowledge that this is an extended edition. However, this extended edition is for a game that is... Oh, jeez, I almost got hit by a train. This is for the Radiant Historia was for the DS, and it did not look as good as the extended edition. Not only adds more story, it adds a better polish. I mean, the how good it looks is it's like night and day. It's like night and day how good this game looks. Stock. I love stock. I bought this game on because I love RPGs. I bought this game. It's unfortunately that Nintendo games don't really go on sale. That really sucks, and it's because of Japan. It really sucks that they don't do that, so I have to rely on sales from like GameFly in order to get Nintendo games on sale. Anyway, back to Radiant Historia. Radiant Historia, I gave a 10 out of 10. And for many reasons. I loved the characters. I loved the story. I loved the gameplay. I loved the soundtrack. I loved the level design's great too. The game's look and visuals, it's great. So it's just a great game. If you're a fan of RPGs, you know, try out Radiant Historia. It's great. It's like Stella Go. It's just fan-fucking-tastic. And now, time for number 1. So a little story. You probably are gonna say, oh, it's gonna be Red Dead Redemption. Because Omega loves Rockstar. Yeah, I love Bully. I love GTA. I love LA Noire. Manhunter, I don't care. Never. I love. They're my favorite company. Like, next to Nintendo. However, they are. I have not seen a bad Rockstar game. I know they probably have one, but Rockstar is usually known for how solid their games are. Number 1 is not Red Dead Redemption 2. I'm just as upset as you guys that I did not get to play this game too. It did not appear in my queue. It came up at the end of the year. I wanted to buy it for PS4. It is for PS4 and Xbox 360, not PC. That angers me. It probably will come to PC a year later, which is not acceptable. But I guess if it's to patch out some bugs, you know. Honestly, they should, you know. Also, Red Dead's not coming for Switch, which extremely sucks, Nintendo. You need to fix that. Honestly, I'm surprised GTA 5 is not for Switch. And don't tell me, oh, it can't run on Nintendo Switch. Fucking, do you realize what I have GTA 5 on my Xbox 360, on my PS4, on my PC. Alright? If it can run on the Xbox 360, then it can run on the Switch. I'm just gonna talk about my number 1, God of War. God of War is my number 1. There, I said it. God of War is my number 1. God of War on my review was a 10 out of 10. I had never played a God of War until God of War 4. I loved God of War is such a great game that if you have not played it yet, that is a mistake and you need to correct that. Out of any game that I've told you to play this year, you need to play God of War. If you do not have a PS4, you need to get one. You need to play, well, I don't know if you should get a PS4 now since the PS5 is coming. I don't know. Well, I mean, it is pretty cheap right now, the PS4. I'd say yeah, it's pretty worth it for Spider-Man, God of War, Dragon Ball Fighters, and there's tons of good games. Uncharted 4.
In general, yeah, PlayStation has the best exclusives. Like you have The Last of Us, of course.
Okay, they have the second best.
I mean,
I mean that's what Nintendo's known for, is their first parties. Like that's their killers. That's what sells their system. And the fact that Nintendo has sold their consoles on just their first party alone for many years, that's pretty impressive. That tells you just how good their shit is. Like think of how many, like you don't have an Xbox though, but you're at least interested in the Switch, you know, Jonathan. Like what does that tell you? Like, you know, the Xbox has nothing interesting.
Yeah.
God of War was so good. I've always kind of just saw God of War and just been like, oh, it's a god killing thing. But it's so much more. God of War 4, it's amazing. Chris Judge, he nails Kratos. I loved him as Kratos. And all the meme-worthy sentences he said at him. This was a lot of firsts for me. This was the first year I didn't play Call of Duty. Well, that's a lie. I played all their Call of Duty games, like previous years. It's my whole series. In fact, this year I played a lot of Call of Duty. I played Ghost, I played World War II, I played, oh my god, so many. I played Black Ops 2 for this stream. I have a whole huge playlist that you can check out. My journey through Call of Duty. I'm still not done, of course. I'll be getting to Modern Warfare soon. But I wanted to do it for a long time now, and like the Black Ops series on how bad the Black Ops 4 like pissed me off so much. I was like, you know what? I want to show off just how good the story modes are to prove that, you know, that Call of Duty has good stories. It started off as a story mode, and then, oh yeah, the best argument, Jonathan, remember when I told you I got a comment that says, you're just salty. Black Ops 4 is the greatest game. It's gonna get Game of the Year. I love it.
Oh yeah, I remember that. Yeah.
Yeah. So Jonathan, what were the? Do you remember the Game of the Years? The nominations for Game of the Year?
At the Game Awards, it was, I can't remember. I remember, nah, not really, but I know one of them was probably on. I remember like some of them are probably like a PC game. It was a game I never heard of actually. Like I was like, wait, what is that game? I never heard of that game. But no, I can't remember the other Game of the Year nominees.
You're fucking useless. Okay, here it is. Ready? I'm about to roll through it. Assassin's Creed Odyssey, Celeste.
That's the one. That's the one. Celeste,
God of War, Marvel Spider-Man, Monster Hunter World, Red Dead Redemption 2. And what game won? God of War. Oh, guess what game was not there, Jonathan?
What game?
Call of Duty Black Ops 4. In fact, Call of Duty didn't win a single category. Okay, so guess what it was? Guess what it was? Call of Duty 4 was nominated for.
What?
Best audio design. Out of everything, best audio design. You know who's its competitors? Forza Horizon 4, God of War, Marvel Spider-Man, Red Dead Redemption 2, Red Dead 2 won. Oh. Okay, so best action game, Call of Duty Black Ops 4, Dead Cells, Destiny 2 Forsaken, Far Cry 5, Mega Man 11, best action game. Which one do you think won?
That's for best action?
Mm-hmm.
What are nominees again? You said it was
Mega Man 11, Far Cry 5, Destiny 2 Forsaken, Dead Cells, or Black Ops 4.
I didn't hear anything about Mega Man 11 actually. Like people saying it's... is it Forsaken?
Is that your guess?
Yeah.
You're wrong. Dead Cells won. The indie game. Beat out Black Ops 4. It beat out Destiny 2 Forsaken, Far Cry 5, and Mega Man 11. It beat AAA developers. How sad is that? You know?
Pretty sad.
That's pretty sad. Best multiplayer game. Okay, I want you to say who wins this, alright? Call of Duty Black Ops 4, Destiny 2 Forsaken, Monster Hunter World, Sea of Thieves, and Fortnite.
Oh, Fortnite.
Are you saying that because you know it probably is going to win, or are you saying that because you legitimately think that?
Oh, I legitimately think it's Fortnite.
Well, yeah, with any of those competitions, you'd fucking think, how many people, everyone hated Sea of Thieves. You know?
Mm-hmm.
Even at E3, they were like, oh, there's an expansion coming for it. Because last year, it was fucking hated. Or was that this year? Did Sea of Thieves comes out this year?
I don't know.
And it's made by Rare. That just shows you just how... Sea of Thieves. Oh my god. March 20th, 2018. The fact that I could not remember if it came out this year or not just shows how little of an impact it had. And it got nominated for Best Multiplayer Game. Okay, guys. So here's the thing. Footage was lost. And... yeah, I couldn't replace it. So... I'm recording another game to show...
Today will be the day that we finally settle things, Kakarot. Alright, Super Saiyan God versus Super Saiyan God. It's all or nothing.
Yeah. So...
Get off there!
get to the ground! Yeah, so... we kind of went off on a tangent, and also the recording got lost due to unforeseen circumstances, and Jonathan couldn't come back to record. So it is just me here. So basically, I just wanted to really thank you guys. Thank you guys so much for watching. Oh, let me try that again.
Let me try! I can't allow too soon. Check this out. You need to be stopped.
How dare. Basically, hit.
You're going down. I see you. I see you. I see you. You need to be stopped. Say goodbye. I'll erase you completely. Super Saiyan barrier. Yeah, I've gone far beyond that. Trunks! Win! Wow. So that's what you're capable of, Father?
Okay, so basically Call of Duty didn't get any awards, and that was my point, is that people were saying, oh, it's gonna get Game of the Year, and I was like, no, it's not. It's not gonna get any of the... it's not gonna get anything. And it didn't, and... I wanted to show that off.
Don't bother me, and don't get in my way.
Thank you guys so much for following me. I like that. You're an android. I'm gonna absorb you.
Ever see this one? Hello, here's my target.
And, you know, basically, you know, it's, you know, really been thanks to you guys that I love doing what I do, you know. I have so much fun doing this. And sure, you know, I may not be the biggest channel, not even close, but, you know, I do what I do because I love it, you know. So, this match is dedicated to you guys.
I will terminate my target. I'll come to you. Transparent. I'll come to you. Right here. How about you take care of this? Watch it back. Here we go. Everyone's on the house. I'll come to you. That's lucky. Now then.
How did that miss?
This will be over soon. Hello. You think a barrier will work? It's futile. Oh.
It's your fault for challenging me.
Android 21. Win.
A god of destruction helping me with my hunt? Should I feel honored?
Anyway, guys, thank you guys so much for watching. Don't forget to like, comment, and subscribe. Don't forget to check out Caligold45's channel in the comments in the description below. You can also find my Twitter there, as well as many other things. I do show off many things on Twitter. I use it pretty daily. So you can always check me doing cool stuff there. Thank you guys so much. This has been a great year. Cannot wait for 2019 and all the great games. I will see you guys next time.